Right, so we don't need this right now, alright, because I'm recording with Shadowplay, alright, or GeForce Experience, or in-game, or whatever it's something new I'm trying for this video because OBS isn't exactly working out at all for me right now. Like, it keeps crashing every 2 minutes when I try to play Krunker. So I'm hoping that recording with Shadowplay will alleviate some of the issues I've been having, not just with the crashing, but with performance, alright? So, you may or may not know this, but I used to make Krunker maps, alright? Shocking stuff, I know. I've made a total of like 20 parkour maps so far. Most of them are pretty huge, some of them aren't exactly big. And the most recent of these maps is Parkour Zenith, alright? It's this map right here, the one I'm playing right now. It was a doozy to make. I believe it took me around 9 months. It's one of the biggest maps I've ever made in terms of like effort and stuff. It has a tutorial section, it has Krunker features, it's a lot of map, alright, and as such, it took me a long time to make. Not to mention all the other things I was going through in my life, like I literally graduated college at around the same time I finished this thing. So I was basically dealing with the end game content of my degree, which that definitely took a lot of my time. Not to mention Krunker itself was just kind of falling apart and I've been kind of demotivated about it for quite a while. Like, I was so disillusioned with map making and stuff that I literally made a video 6 months ago stating that this map, which would eventually become Parkour Zenith, would be my last one. But then like 2 months after that, I announced the release date for Parkour Zenith, then I sort of alluded to the fact that it may not be my last parkour map, but it still could be, or wouldn't be. Like, I was never really clear on whether or not Parkour Zenith is actually my last map, and if I'm just done making Krunker maps now. Like, I released the map in July, I updated Heavenbound for its 4th anniversary, then I made a keyboard overlay tutorial and whatever, and after that I just sort of hunkered down with YouTube and haven't really talked about map making at all. And while I have played Krunker maps, I haven't really made Krunker maps or anything like that. So naturally, one would question whether or not I'm actually done with making Krunker maps or not. And honestly, sad news, I'm still not sure if I'm done or not. Alright, I know this sort of fence sitting is kind of frustrating, but unfortunately, things are so uncertain with me that I really don't know what to expect. Believe me, I hate having to live like this as much as you guys do, alright? It's not like I haven't touched the editor, alright? And it's not like I haven't had ideas for making maps. In fact, I have played around with the editor and with Krunker especially. Like, this is the latest thing I've been working on. Basically, it's this sort of low gravity parkour thing. And as you can tell, I have randomly generated stars, courtesy of Krunker. This is the last I've really worked on it. And I haven't really touched it since August 23rd, alright? It's literally just 5 platforms and that's it. Seriously, this is the first time I've even opened up this project in months at this point. And to be honest, I just haven't really felt the urge to really make Krunker maps recently. Like, again, I have ideas for what I want to do with the Krunker editor. Like, I have ideas for maps, but I've never actually taken any time to explore those ideas with the Krunker editor. Because, I don't know, I just haven't been feeling like making maps recently. Like, there have been other things that I've been trying to do to scratch the itch that Krunker map making no longer really scratches for me. For example, I've been working on this sort of Minecraft map here, alright? It's this sort of open world parkour adventure mining exploration sort of map, and you can like use ingots and gems as currency to buy things or something. Not entirely sure what I want this map to be just yet, but it is something I've been working on, right? This is sort of the Great Plateau of the map. It's a pretty big scope for a project like this, especially considering I haven't really touched Minecraft in years before this. I might just make a dedicated video on this map in particular because there's a lot I want to talk about here, but yeah, this is just one of the things I'm working on. I've also been looking for different games to play besides Krunker for like my YouTube, just in case Krunker doesn't really work out, which for what I've seen, things do seem to be coming together for it, but there's still the possibility that it just doesn't work out. That's also a whole nother video I want to get into. I've even been trying to experiment with actual game development. I have a degree in game development after all, so I may as well use it. And even beyond games and maps and game making or whatever, I've also been making music, alright? You may remember back in March I released my self-titled album, and I also released Zenbound as a single in May. I haven't really talked about my music endeavors recently, but I've been working pretty hard on my second album, alright? I'm more than halfway through, I have just 4 songs left, things are going swimmingly, I might release that. If not by the end of the year, then by spring of next year. And of course, there's YouTube, which I've also been hunkering down on, alright? In case you haven't noticed, my videos have taken on a different format in recent months, alright? Like instead of reading off of a script, I'm literally just opening up OBS, or in this case Shadowplay, and just recording myself moving my cursor around and putting Peggle music to it. I've probably been more consistent in recent months than I've had been like ever, alright? I mean, my channel is still kind of dying, alright? But it's another thing I've been working on, alright? There's so many things I'm doing that I'm enjoying far more than making Krunker maps. And it's ironic because I actually kind of make money off of Krunker maps. Like I'm partnered with Krunker and I get a non-zero amount of money every month. And I guess it's just that, I don't know, man. Making Parkour Zenith kind of took it out of me. Like, I feel like I've had my say when it comes to making Krunker maps, alright? Not to mention, I'm kind of at that point in my life when I need to get a job to try and support myself. Alright, new recording, and I'm just gonna use OBS for this. I forgot to mention a few things. Am I getting sick of making Krunker maps? Kinda, yes. But here's the thing. Even right now, putting aside the burnout and the game's turbulent reputation, this editor is awesome. The base game on like an engine and movement level is absolutely insane for an IO game. The controls are fluid, you can slide jump, you can wall jump, you can do a whole bunch of other things. You can basically control where, when, if, or even how you wall jump or do anything in here. You can adjust how high you jump or enable or disable sliding. And even beyond that, if you go into like the class config, you basically have complete control over how the character moves, down to like ground acceleration and air control. You can even have the character follow the mouse like in my Saucer Labs map, right? This is an underrated aspect of the Krunker editor that isn't really taken advantage of all that much, alright? And this is all without CrunkScript, by the way. If you add in CrunkScript to the equation, the possibilities are basically limitless. Basically, alright, in execution, CrunkScript is kind of iffy. But even without CrunkScript, you can do a lot with the editor. It's just a matter of whether or not it's worth making Krunker maps. Like the thing that makes these sort of custom map environments successful is if they have an install base that can potentially play a game. That's how games like Roblox and I guess Garry's Mod is one of them. I'm actually kind of looking into that one. You know, Geometry Dash, games like that. The thing about them is that they have very, very big install bases. Krunker unfortunately doesn't have that right now. Like it used to have a decent enough install base, but we all know what's happening with the game. At the end of the day, I'm kind of burnt out on making maps. There are other hobbies I'm enjoying more, but I will still gladly return to this game if and only if Krunker can figure things out and get its install base back, maybe change the way the map making landscape works so that good maps get featured more than bad ones. And even then, I'm probably never going to make a map on the scale of Parkour Zenith again, because that was just a mess of a map to make.